Flying isn't always as straightforward as hopping from one major airport to another. Around the globe, there are airstrips that test the very limits of aviation. It takes incredible skills to land a plane at some of these dangerous airports. We're talking about runways perched on cliffs, airstrips carved out of ice, and landings that require pinpoint precision. So, grab your boarding pass and join us as we dive into 15 of most dangerous plane landings. Number 15. Tioman Airport, Malaysia. Tioman Airport, located on the stunning island of Tioman off the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, is as challenging as it is beautiful. Nestled amidst lush rainforests and surrounded by clear turquoise waters, the airport offers a picturesque yet demanding approach that keeps pilots on their toes. The real challenge lies in the airport's unique approach path. Pilots must navigate towards a mountain, aiming directly at it before making a sharp 90-degree turn at the last moment to align with the runway. This maneuver requires precise timing and expert handling, especially since the runway is relatively short, just over 3,600 feet long, and ends with a cliff dropping into the sea. There's little room for error, and overshooting could have serious consequences. Adding to the complexity are the unpredictable weather conditions. Sudden changes in wind patterns and visibility can occur, making the landing even more demanding. Pilots need to be well prepared and familiar with the local terrain and weather quirks. For passengers, the landing can be both thrilling and nerve-wracking. The breathtaking views of the island's natural beauty offer a momentary distraction from the tight turns and steep descents. It's an arrival that few forget, setting the stage for the tropical paradise that awaits. Despite the challenges, Tioman Airport remains a vital gateway for tourists and locals alike. It connects the island's pristine beaches, diving spots, and resorts with the mainland, supporting both the local economy and the adventurous spirits of travelers eager to explore off-the-beaten-path destinations. Number 14. Gisborne Airport, New Zealand. Gisborne Airport, situated on the eastern tip of New Zealand's North Island, is a regional airport with a unique claim to fame. What sets it apart is the Palmerston-North Gisborne railway line that runs directly across its main runway. Yes, at Gisborne Airport, planes and trains share the same real estate, making coordination and timing crucial. This unusual intersection requires seamless communication between air traffic controllers and railway operators. Before a plane can land or take off, they must ensure no trains are approaching the crossing. It adds an extra layer of complexity to standard airport operations, but it's a system that has worked safely for years due to strict protocols. For pilots, this means being extra vigilant during approach and departure. They need to be aware of both aerial and ground traffic, ensuring that the runway is clear not just of other aircraft, but also of any locomotives that might be passing through. It's an uncommon challenge that adds to the charm of flying into Gisborne. Passengers might catch a glimpse of this rare sight, a runway intersected by train tracks, as they land or take off. It's a quirky feature that often becomes a talking point and makes for an interesting anecdote to share. Gisborne itself is known for its beautiful beaches, rich Maori culture, and as one of the first cities in the world to see the sunrise each day. The airport serves as a gateway to these attractions, connecting the region with other parts of New Zealand. Number 13. Paro Airport, Bhutan. Nestled deep within the Himalayas, Paro Airport in Bhutan is renowned as one of the most challenging airports in the world for pilots. Surrounded by towering peaks reaching up to 18,000 feet. The airport sits in a deep valley along the banks of the Paro Chu River. The approach and departure paths require pilots to weave through narrow mountain passes, often at a mere few hundred feet above the homes below. What makes Paro Airport particularly demanding is the lack of modern navigation aids. There's no instrument landing system, so pilots must rely entirely on visual flight rules. This means flights are restricted to daylight hours under clear weather conditions. Only a select group of pilots, fewer than 24 worldwide, are certified to land here, each having undergone rigorous training specific to Paro's terrain and conditions. For passengers, the experience is nothing short of spectacular. As the aircraft threads its way through the mountains, glimpses of monasteries perched on cliff edges and untouched forests unfold outside the windows. It's a flight that offers both breathtaking beauty and a hint of adrenaline. The airport itself is small, reflecting Bhutan's cautious approach to tourism and modernization. The country's emphasis on preserving its culture and environment means that Paro Airport remains a charming gateway, with traditional architecture greeting visitors upon arrival. Landing at Paro is a testament to a pilot's skill and precision. The combination of high altitude, surrounding terrain, and variable weather patterns demands complete focus and expertise. It's not just a flight, it's an adventure that sets the tone for exploring the unique and serene landscapes of Bhutan. Number 12. Narsarsuaq Airport, Greenland. Located in the secluded stretches of southern Greenland, Narsarsuaq Airport is a remote yet vital link for travelers venturing into the Arctic. Surrounded by dramatic fjords, icy waters, and rugged mountains, the airport presents a multitude of challenges that test even the most seasoned pilots. One of the primary difficulties in landing at Narsarsuaq is the unpredictable and often severe weather. Conditions can shift rapidly, with dense fog, gusty winds, and sudden snowstorms making visibility a constant concern. The approach path requires navigating through fjords with limited room for maneuvering, and pilots must be adept at handling turbulence and wind shear. Additionally, the airport's runway, while sufficient in length, can be treacherous due to ice and snow. Regular maintenance keeps it operational, but the ever-present cold means that slick surfaces are a common issue. Pilots need to execute precise landings to ensure the aircraft remains under control upon touchdown. Another layer of complexity comes from magnetic anomalies in the region, which can affect navigation systems. This requires pilots to rely more heavily on visual cues and be thoroughly familiar with the local geography. Despite these challenges, the journey to Narsarsuaq is rewarded with stunning natural beauty. Passengers are treated to views of sprawling glaciers, towering icebergs drifting in the sea, and the vast, untouched wilderness of Greenland. It's a destination for adventurers and nature enthusiasts seeking something truly off the beaten path. Narsarsuaq Airport has historical significance as well. It was originally built by the US military during World War II as a strategic refueling stop. Today, it continues to serve as a crucial hub for Greenland, connecting remote communities and supporting tourism and research in the Arctic region. Number 11. Courchevel Airport, France. Perched high in the French Alps, Courchevel Airport is a gateway to one of the world's most prestigious ski resorts and a landing strip that offers pilots a true test of their skills. At an altitude of over 6,500 feet, the airport is known for its incredibly short and sloped runway, making it one of the most challenging in existence. The runway measures just 1,762 feet in length and features an 18.5% gradient. This uphill slope helps aircraft slow down more quickly upon landing, but also means that takeoffs require sufficient power to overcome the incline. There's no possibility of a go-around due to the surrounding mountainous terrain, so pilots have one chance to get it right. Approaching Courchevel Airport involves navigating through narrow valleys and around towering peaks. The lack of instrument approach procedures and limited lighting aids means that landings must be conducted under visual flight rules, typically in daylight and clear weather conditions. Pilots operating into Courchevel must obtain special certification, ensuring they are well prepared for the airport's unique demands. The margin for error is minimal, and precision is absolutely essential. The airport's notoriety adds to the allure of Courchevel as an exclusive destination. It's not just about the skiing and the upscale amenities, but also the adventure of reaching such a remote and extraordinary location. Courchevel Airport exemplifies how aviation can connect us to the most breathtaking corners of the world, even when nature presents significant obstacles. Number 10. High wind landings. When it comes to aviation, not all challenges are tied to specific airports. Sometimes, Mother Nature herself throws in a curveball. High wind landings are one such universal challenge that pilots around the world must be prepared to face. Imagine trying to park a car in a tight spot while it's being pushed sideways. That's somewhat akin to what pilots deal with during strong crosswinds. High winds can occur anywhere and often without much warning. They require pilots to engage in advanced techniques to keep the aircraft aligned with the runway. One common method is called crabbing, where the pilot points the nose of the plane into the wind, causing the aircraft to fly slightly sideways relative to the runway. Just before touchdown, they must straighten the plane to ensure a safe landing, which demands precise timing and skill. These conditions test even the most seasoned aviators. Gusts can cause sudden shifts, making the aircraft unstable. Pilots need to be constantly alert, making real-time adjustments to the controls. It's a delicate balance between maintaining lift and ensuring the plane doesn't drift off course. You might feel the plane swaying or notice the wings tipping more than usual. Turbulence can add to the discomfort, but it's important to remember that pilots are extensively trained for these situations. Modern aircraft are also built to withstand such stresses, making them incredibly robust. Airports in windy regions, like Wellington in New Zealand or Chicago's O'Hare, often have runways oriented to mitigate crosswinds, but unpredictable weather can still create challenges. Air traffic controllers play a crucial role, providing pilots with up-to-the-minute weather data to assist in landing decisions. Number 9. Barra Airport, Scotland. Nestled in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, Barra Airport is something truly special. It's the only airport in the world where scheduled flights use a beach as the runway. That's right, the Cockleshell Beach of Tray Moor serves as the landing strip, making arrivals and departures entirely dependent on the tides. Operating Barra Airport requires careful timing. Flights are scheduled around low tide when the expansive beach is exposed. As the tide comes in, the runway disappears beneath the waves and operations halt until the sands re-emerge. It's a fascinating dance with nature that adds a unique twist to air travel. For pilots, landing at Barra is both a challenge and a delight. Without the usual runway markings, they rely on wooden poles to indicate the positions of the 3 designated landing strips, oriented into the prevailing wind directions. The beach surface can be uneven, and weather conditions in the Hebrides can change rapidly, demanding constant vigilance and adaptability. The approach offers stunning views of the rugged Scottish coastline, and touching down on a beach is an experience unlike any other. There's a sense of adventure and a touch of nostalgia, harking back to the early days of aviation when such unconventional runways were more common. Safety is, of course, paramount. The airport has procedures in place for emergencies, including provisions for night landings if necessary, using vehicle lights to illuminate the makeshift runway. However, such instances are rare and carefully managed. Number 8. Madeira Airport, Portugal. Perched on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, Madeira Airport, also known as Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport, is famed for its dramatic setting and challenging landings. Located on the Portuguese island of Madeira, this airport is as much an engineering marvel as it is a test of pilot prowess. The original runway was notoriously short, but an extension was necessary to accommodate larger aircraft and increase safety. The problem? There was nowhere to build except over the ocean. The solution was ingenious. Construct a platform supported by 180 pillars, some reaching 70 meters, 230 feet tall. The runway now extends over the water, blending seamlessly into the rugged coastline. Approaching Madeira Airport is not your typical straight glide. Pilots must navigate around mountains, contend with strong and often shifting winds funneling through the peaks, and execute a turn before lining up with the runway. It's a maneuver that requires precise calculations and a steady hand. The airport authorities and airlines ensure that only pilots with special training fly into Madeira. They're well versed in the local weather patterns and the idiosyncrasies of the approach. Modern navigational aids have improved safety, but the landing still relies heavily on pilot expertise. Madeira Airport stands as a testament to human determination to connect even the most challenging locations. For visitors, it's the gateway to an island paradise, known for its wine, hiking trails, and vibrant festivals. And while the landing might set your heart racing, it's all part of the unforgettable experience that is Madeira. Number 7. Tenzing Hillary Airport, Nepal. High in the Himalayas lies Tenzing Hillary Airport, more commonly known as Lukla Airport, which serves as the starting point for adventurers aiming to conquer Mount Everest. At an elevation of 2,145 meters, 9,034 feet, it's no surprise that this airport is considered one of the most dangerous in the world. The runway at Lukla is both short and sloped, measuring about 527 meters, 1,729 feet in length, with a gradient of nearly 12%. One end of the runway abuts a sheer cliff face, while the other drops off into a deep valley. There's absolutely no room for error. Go-arounds aren't an option here. Pilots face multiple challenges. The high altitude means thinner air, which affects aircraft performance, reducing lift and engine power. Add to that unpredictable mountain weather, with sudden fog, wind shear, and turbulence. There's also no instrument landing system, so visual flight rules apply, and flights are often delayed or cancelled due to poor visibility. Only experienced pilots with specialized training are allowed to operate in and out of Lukla. They must be adept at short takeoffs and landings and familiar with the local terrain. Approaching the runway requires navigating through a narrow valley, and once committed, there's no turning back. Despite its dangers, Lukla Airport is a lifeline, for the local community and the thousands of tourists who visit each year. It brings essential supplies and connects the otherwise isolated area with the rest of Nepal. The airport is named in honor of Sherpa Tenzing Norgay and Sir Edmund Hillary, the first climbers to reach Everest's summit, symbolizing the spirit of adventure that permeates this incredible. Number 6. McMurdo Station Ice Runway, Antarctica. At the bottom of the world, where ice stretches as far as the eye can see, lies the McMurdo Station Ice Runway in Antarctica. Serving the United States' largest research station on the continent, this runway is as unique as the environment it inhabits. Constructed annually on the sea ice, the ice runway is essentially a frozen platform that supports aircraft operations during the austral summer months from October to December. The ice must be thick enough, usually about 3 meters, 10 feet, to bear the weight of heavy planes like the C-17 Globemaster III and the occasional passenger aircraft. Landing on ice presents challenges you won't find elsewhere. For one, there's the issue of friction, or lack thereof. Pilots must carefully manage speed and descent rates to avoid skidding. The flat, white expanse can also make depth perception tricky, a phenomenon known as whiteout, where the horizon and ground blend together. Weather is the ever-present wild card. Extreme cold, sudden storms, and high winds can impact visibility and aircraft performance. Instrument landing systems are limited, so pilots often rely heavily on visual cues and precise coordination with ground teams. Because the runway sits atop shifting sea ice, constant monitoring is essential. Cracks can develop, and the ice can weaken as the season progresses. Safety teams use ground-penetrating radar and other tools to assess the ice's integrity regularly. Number 5. Huancho e Irausquin Airport, Sabah. Perched on the tiny Caribbean island of Sabah, Huancho e Irausquin Airport boasts one of the shortest commercial runways in the world. Measuring just 400 meters, about 1,312 feet, the runway is flanked on one side by towering cliffs and on the other by the azure expanse of the sea. This makes for a landing strip that is as breathtaking as it is challenging. Pilots flying into Sabah need to be specially trained to handle the unique demands of this airport. The short runway leaves absolutely no room for error. Overshooting it means ending up in the ocean. Only small aircraft and experienced pilots are permitted to land here, and they must approach with precision and caution. The rugged terrain and unpredictable Caribbean winds add an extra layer of complexity to the task. As the plane descends, you're treated to stunning views of the island's lush green landscape and the surrounding turquoise waters. There's a palpable sense of excitement and maybe a touch of nervousness as the runway comes into sight, a thin strip seemingly carved out of the rocky coastline. Despite its size, Huancho e Irausquin Airport is a vital lifeline for Sabah's residents and visitors. It connects this remote island paradise to the outside world, supporting tourism and providing access to essential services. The airport's unique characteristics make it a point of pride for locals and a bucket list experience for aviation enthusiasts. Number 4. Congonhas Airport, Brazil. Nestled amidst the urban sprawl of São Paulo, Congonhas Airport is one of Brazil's busiest hubs and one of its most challenging for pilots. The airport's central location is a convenience for travelers, but presents a unique set of difficulties due to its proximity to densely populated areas and high-rise buildings. The approach to Congonhas requires meticulous attention. Pilots must navigate over the cityscape, aligning perfectly with a relatively short runway that has been the site of overrun incidents in the past. The surrounding infrastructure leaves little room for error, so precision is paramount. Add to this the rapidly changing weather conditions Sao Paulo is known for, including sudden rainstorms that can make the runway slick. And you've got a recipe for a demanding landing. In 2007, a tragic accident highlighted the challenges of this airport when an aircraft failed to stop on the runway. Since then, significant safety improvements have been implemented, including enhanced runway surfaces and better drainage systems to handle heavy rain. For those on board, landing at Congonhas can be an eye-opener. The city's vast expanse unfolds beneath you, and the close proximity to buildings gives a real sense of the airport's urban setting. It's a testament to modern aviation that such a busy airport operates smoothly within one of the world's largest cities. Number 3. Matakane Airstrip, Lesotho. Deep in the highlands of Lesotho, a small country entirely surrounded by South Africa, lies the Matakane Airstrip, a landing spot that's not for the faint of heart. Situated at an elevation of approximately 2,300 meters, 7,500 feet, the airstrip is renowned for its incredibly short runway that ends abruptly at the edge of a canyon with a 600-meter, 2,000-foot drop. Pilots approaching Matakane must have nerves of steel. The runway is only about 400 meters, 1,212 feet long, which is insufficient for most aircraft to take off in the traditional sense. As a result, planes often drop off the cliff at the end of the runway before they gain enough lift to become airborne. A heart-stopping moment for everyone on board. Landing poses its own challenges. The high altitude means thinner air, which affects engine performance and lift capabilities. Pilots must touch down precisely at the beginning of the runway and brake efficiently to avoid overshooting the cliff edge. There's no room for error, and only pilots with specialized training operate here. The airstrip primarily serves as a crucial access point for medical missions, charities, and supplies to reach remote communities in Lesotho's mountainous terrain. The region's lack of roads makes air travel the most viable option for providing essential services to isolated villages. Number 2. Aircraft carrier landings. Talk about a moving target. Landing a plane on an aircraft carrier is arguably one of the most challenging feats a pilot can perform. Imagine aiming for a runway that is not only extremely short, but also in constant motion due to the shifting seas. This is the daily reality for naval aviators who must hone their skills to perfection. Aircraft carriers are feats of engineering marvel, serving as mobile air bases that project military might across the globe. The flight deck is a flat top that's about 150 meters, roughly 500 feet, of usable runway for landings. Pilots must approach the carrier at precise speeds and angles, contending with factors like wind speed, the carrier's own movement, and sea conditions. The landing process involves snagging an arresting wire with a tailhook attached to the aircraft. This sudden deceleration from about 240 kilometers per hour, 150 miles per hour, to a complete stop in just a couple of seconds is intense, to say the least. It's often referred to as a controlled crash. Night landings and rough seas amplify the difficulty. Darkness and weather can obscure visual cues, requiring pilots to rely heavily on their instruments and the guidance of the landing signal officer, LSO. The pressure is immense. There's no room for mistakes when the margin of error is razor thin. Training to perform carrier landings is rigorous. Pilots spend countless hours in simulators and practice touch-and-goes on land-based replicas of carrier decks before ever attempting the real thing at sea. It's a testament to their dedication and skill. Number 1. Gibraltar International Airport. Gibraltar International Airport is one of the most distinctive airports you'll ever come across. Nestled at the base of the famous Rock of Gibraltar, this airport is unique not just for its location, but also for the way it seamlessly integrates with the daily life of the territory. Perhaps the most notable feature is Winston Churchill Avenue, the main road connecting Gibraltar to Spain, that crosses directly over the airport's runway. That's right. Every time a plane is due to land or take off, barriers come down to stop road traffic, much like at a railway crossing. It's a sight that leaves many first-time visitors in awe and perhaps a bit incredulous. For pilots, Gibraltar presents several challenges. The airport's proximity to the Mediterranean Sea means winds can be unpredictable, especially crosswinds that funnel around the Rock of Gibraltar. These winds can cause turbulence and require careful handling during approach and departure. Additionally, the limited airspace due to neighboring Spanish territory necessitates precise navigation. The runway itself extends partially into the sea, reclaimed from the bay, and is relatively short for modern jet airliners. Pilots must be exact in their landing speeds and touchdown points to ensure a safe stop before the runway ends. The approach offers stunning views of the iconic rock, the town below, and the shimmering blue of the Mediterranean. Watching cars stop as the plane taxis across the intersection is a novelty you won't find elsewhere. Despite these quirks, Gibraltar International Airport operates efficiently, handling commercial flights and serving as a vital link for the residents of this British overseas territory. Thanks for watching another episode. While you are still here, make sure to click on the video on your screen for more quality content.